So it's finally time that we start digging into the RB25. But there's some things we need to do before we drop it back into the car, such as the header studs, because some of them are snapped. 3 to be exact, I think. And then turbo crush washers, we're gonna need to order. Clutch, I have to verify that this is a pull or push type clutch. Intercooler pipe fitment, that'll be when it's in the car. Oil change, trans fluid, obviously when it's in the car. But we have a special guest today. We have Tim here, also known as Lawn Chair Racer.
With my lawn chair today. Chocolate. This is pretty gangster.
Yeah, Tim was in a really bad crash the other day. It's like 3 days ago.
3 days ago, Friday night. Yeah, I was very close to final bout on my way there, and I got hit by a drunk driver coming the wrong way down the road.
Had everything?
I mean, for the most part, we got a good bit of it. Yeah, it was like a crazy experience, and unfortunately my car's totaled, but I am still here, so that's good news. But a bunch of people, Mike put my car totaled on the story, and we're all, well, now it looks like everyone in the group is dealing with this curse, so it kind of feels that way, unfortunately. But
for real,
it is what it is, right?
and it was the same side too, like your whole left side of the car just caved in.
Yeah, it took a F250 to the door at like, what, 80 miles an hour? He was going 80, I was going 70 or so, man, and it's crazy. It happened in like 2 seconds too. It's a surreal experience. I'm still like processing it now, but thank God I'm good.
That's insane. I'm so happy that you survived that, dude. Oh my gosh.
Looking at it was unreal, but yeah, man, I'm here. And we're gonna get this 240 on the road.
Hey. So yeah, don't drive drunk and don't drive like an idiot, I guess.
That's the moral of the story.
Right?
Drunk drivers, man. Every time that you hear about something like this, it's someone that's intoxicated or just not paying attention. They're on their phone or whatever. Just gotta be safe out there. That's how I'm feeling for these wheels, man. That's once I did get it all together, it was super worth it. Oh, you're getting some wiggle, dog. Alright, let's shabob this thing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep, I felt that. Let's go. There she goes. So what's going on in here?
It's a boy. Dude, it smells so burnt. Can you smell that?
A little bit.
Toasted. You can kind of tell it's like flattened up here.
Yeah, you can
definitely hot spotted.
Wow.
Even the flywheel is hot spotted.
Yeah, I mean, factory clutch. And that last day.
Yeah, the last day I sent her a little hard.
But there's some way to tell the difference.
Right? I'll probably just Google it real quick.
We'll consult Google.
Okay, we did some Google research. Apparently this is the pull style clutch. I don't know if you can really tell, but that is how the pressure plate looks from the outside. And this looks like a normal pressure plate. So this one definitely looks different. So we're in luck. We have the more generic style clutch. So it'll be a lot easier to find, and hopefully we'll get it soon because we're about a month away. Less
closer, baby.
Yeah, we're about a month away from our target goal, which was drifting the car 1 year since the last drift event with it smashed. So hopefully we'll finish it. Well, since we know what clutch we need now, let's start working on the header studs. So we gotta start by obviously taking off everything that's right here. Oh, I hope these bolts don't snap. They're kind of rusty.
Give them some PB blaster and some heat.
I feel like they'll still snap even with PB blaster. That's just what I've learned. Like no matter what, it'll snap. I don't know. Dude, these are coming out really nicely.
Great.
It's that Japanese salt. I spoke too soon.
Damn it.
Literally snapped it. There we go. No!
Oh.
Well, I ended up not having the size to take off the water fitting on the turbo, so I had to go to the store and pick up the correct size. And I'm going to continue working on taking the turbo off so I can get the rest of this heat shield off. Looks like there's still some fluid in there. It's a big banjo bolt. So there's a coolant fitting on the inside here, and that is the reason why I bought this wrench in the first place. But I just realized that line comes out and connects here. So I think it would be easier to just take off this 10mm and this 10mm and then disconnect this line. So that's what I'm gonna do. Which basically just means I bought this wrench for no reason. But at least I have a 24 now. Well, there she is. Luckily this stuff wasn't too corroded or rusty or anything. It made it really nice taking off. No snapped bolts. That's always a good thing. But alright, let's see what we got here. We can finally get to these two rusty bolts. I think this just slides off now. Nissan. Okay, let's see how many studs we have snapped. One. Good, 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 good. Good, good, good. Snapped. Good, snapped. So 3 are snapped. I guess we'll take the header off now. I'm really hoping no more of these snap because they're pretty rusty looking. One snapped. Oh no, another snapped. This is really strange because these first two that came out and snapped, it felt like they were like coming out like normally, but then they just like broke off. Like it was not hard at all. So either they were already snapped or these are just extremely weak. And I will add, I did spray PB Blast on all of these and I let it sit for a few minutes. You can even tell that the nut is wet on here, so yeah. The first one that came out. And it looks perfect. There's no rust on it. Which is kind of weird. This one, just the nut came off. This is nuts. LOL. Last one. Pull it off, I guess. There's only 3 studs on here. Why is this so hard to get off? The rest of them came out or snapped. And I don't want to hit it too hard because this is cast. Well, I think it's safe to say that this gasket was absolutely toast. This just fell off when I took it off. Yeah, completely blackened. Same with this side. That one fell off too. Jeez. See how these bowed out here on the ends? On the front and the back? I think that's because I wasn't running a flex pipe on my down pipe. So every time I would scrape or like, you know, frame bang on something because the car was so low, it was putting all that stress on the outer header studs. So the whole manifold is probably like shifting up every time I hit a bump on the down pipe, which is probably why they all cracked and why the 3 center ones are in the best condition. So run a flex pipe, especially if you're low, or learn the hard way like me. Well, let's see how many studs we have snapped in here. There's 1, 2, 3. That one's good. 4, 5. 5 out of 12. That's almost half. Well, I think I'm going to start with trying to get these out because I am going to end up replacing these as well. I might as well put all new studs in here, especially since 5 studs have snapped already. If I reran these, that's just asking for a bad time. These are probably already weakened. You know what I mean? And then we'll get to thinking about how we're going to get these out. So for taking out the old studs, I'm going to use the 2 nut method. Now that we have 2 nuts jammed together, take the inner nut and spin that one lefty-loosey. Oh, that's pretty easy. See that? It's already spinning out. So we just got to do that all the way out and then 2 more times. So at this point I have a couple options to get these broken studs out of here. They are a little recessed in there, so it's really not ideal. It makes it a little bit harder to do since it's not snapped flush. But what I'm going to try first is use the welder to build up some weld on the inside of each snapped stud, and then I can weld a nut to it and then hopefully spin it out. But before we do that, I need to cover up all these open holes, and I also need to cover the oil line, coolant line, and the oil drain, because the last thing you want is little metal shards inside your oil or inside your cylinders. As for the ground for the welder, I think I'm going to use this bracket. I'm going to grind off the paint so it's bare metal. This bracket actually goes right here. It's for the crossover crap, which I'm not running. I'm going to put this back on and use this as the ground clamp. So yeah. Now we need to try and grind off all of this black stuff and paint marker and just all the debris that's out of there. So we have this little attachment here on the drill. This might take a while. So we have a little buildup right here, and I've cleaned the rust off of the back of all of the nuts that came off of the studs. So now I'm going to align the nut on top of that little bead I built up and weld the nut to the bead. Blowing a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna let that cool down for a minute or 2 and then I'll try and break it loose. Fingers crossed and toes crossed. Hopefully it comes out, because I have 4 more to do. It's turning. That's really good news. Nice. Look at that. Success. That's pretty gapped up too. Dude, I'm so happy that worked. These are little mini trophies now. Oh. Boom. Success. That is a huge relief knowing that those studs are out of the RB now. I was dreading doing that, like literally since I saw that first stud snap probably over a year ago now. But that honestly took less than 15 minutes to do those 5 studs. I'm gonna need to take off the flywheel because I need to get this resurfaced. So I'm gonna take it to like a transmission or a driveline shop and just drop it off. Order the clutch. Header studs are on back order. Ooh, turbo crush washers. I couldn't find these on the Nissan website, so I'm gonna bring these in to a Nissan dealer and try and match them up. We got this bigger size to match up, and then also 2 of these smaller ones. And if they have a new banjo bolt that's not ridiculously overpriced, maybe I'll pick up a new bolt. This one has some rust on it. But I could just clean it up. What next? I should probably clean up. This is looking like a huge mess in here. I ended up running a couple errands, and I'll tell you how it went. The first shop I went to, I wanted to get the flywheel resurfaced. And after the guys inspected the flywheel, they said it could not be cut because it got too hot and some of the metal is starting to crack, and they said it would just flake off. So it would not be worth it to cut that flywheel. The next place I stopped at was a powder coating company. I figured I might as well get these powder coated, the header and the heat shield, because it's kind of rusty how it is now, and I might as well clean it up while it's off. But their powder coating machine was down, so that's 0 for 2 so far. And the last stop I went to was Nissan, and I wanted to get a new throwout bearing and a couple crush washers for the turbo fittings. And guess what? They didn't have any parts. So I'm gonna have to order some parts.